Bandits abduct 25 schoolgirls, kill vice principal in deadly attack on Kebbi school. Taraba Assembly Speaker, 15 others dump PDP for APC. Nigeria's inflation rate drops to 16.05% in October 2025. And away from Nigeria, 32 people killed in DR Congo as copper and cobalt mine collapsed due to overcrowding. Hello, good evening and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. We begin with security matters. Bandits have abducted 25 students from the Government Girls Comprehensive Senior Secondary School, GGCSS, Maga in Donku, Wasogu local government area of Kebbi State. The gunmen reportedly invaded the school on Sunday night, killing the vice principal, Hassan Makuku, who was said to have been shot while trying to protect the students. Witnesses said the attackers operated freely, causing panic and throwing the community into mourning. Residents have been offering prayers for the slain vice principal, asking Allah to grant him mercy and comfort his family. Confirming the incident, the Kebbi State Police Public Relations Officer, CSP Nafiu Abubakar, said 25 students were taken. He added that a combined team of police tactical units, soldiers, and vigilantes had been deployed and were combing the bandits' routes and nearby forests in a bid to rescue the girls and arrest the perpetrators. The Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ahmed Idris, said Deputy Governor Senator Umar Tafida had been sent to the school to assess the situation on behalf of Governor Nasser Idris, who is currently out of the state. Bandits reportedly killed 3 persons and abducted at least 64 others on Saturday at Fagin Bazaar village in Safe local government area of Zamfara State. Trust TV gathered that children and women were among the abductees taken to an unknown destination. 4 other people were said to have sustained gunshot wounds during the attack and were taken to Safe General Hospital. Among those killed was a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, Umar Moriki, along the Gusau Safe Road near Fagin village. The incident happened the day after the Minister of State for Defense and former government of the state, Bello Muhammad Matawale, visited the state and announced that the defense headquarters had deployed fresh troops. Witnesses told our correspondents that the bandits who struck at Fagin Bazaar on Saturday were over 30 in number and rode on motorbikes. Authorities are yet to issue a statement on the attacks. At least 1,400 vigilantes, hunters, and members of neighborhood watch groups have undergone training to help tackle the persistent security challenges affecting several communities across Plateau State. The trainees were selected from communities most affected by recurring attacks. Ado Musa completes the report.
Plateau State has long faced recurring violence leading to the loss of hundreds of lives and displacement of thousands of residents. The ongoing training for vigilantes, hunters, and neighborhood watch members comes amid renewed attacks in different parts of the state. As part of effort to strengthen the grassroots security, Operation Rainbow, a state-backed security outfit, is training 1,400 personnel drawn from the 17 local government areas. Acting coordinator of Operation Rainbow, Brigadier General Gagdi Shipi, says the initiative is aimed at enhancing the state security architecture and integrating community responders into the broader security network.
Operation Rainbow, as you know, is the neighborhood watch agency of the government of Plateau State. And you also recall that one of the pillars of the government of Barrister Caleb Mutfwang is the provision of security to the citizens of Plateau State. And Operation Rainbow is one of those agencies or tools that is being used by the government to ensure that. And so part of the efforts to rejig the security architecture of the state was to get, those that are involved in in the security of our communities, that the hunters, the vigilantes involved in the in providing a coordinated security approach. So that's what led to the recruitment of these trainees you are seeing here. We brought them from the various communities within the state to give them more effective training, to get them more coordinated.
Participants also shared their thoughts on the relevance of the training in improving community safety.
Challenges that we have been facing, so I've come here to be trained so that I'm going to take the message to our youth at home so that we are going to use what we have in safeguarding the life of our people, sir. My message to the state government is let them empower more youth so that they will get efficient.
As happened in our village, we came here to train, to know how to save ourselves and the life of people. So it's really what to appreciate the government and the government.
The training is expected to equip participants with the essential skills needed to combat criminality and improve safety across communities and villages in Plateau State. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Away from security matters, the Speaker of the Taraba State House of Assembly, Kizito Bonzena, has resigned from the People's Democratic Party and announced his movement to the All Progressives Congress, blaming what he described as deepening factional struggles within the PDP at the national level. Bonzena confirmed that 15 other members of the Assembly have also submitted letters indicating their intention to leave the PDP for the APC. Speaking on the mass defection, Bonzena urged residents not to misunderstand their decision, insisting it was taken in the interest of the state. He noted that with the latest development, all 24 members of the Assembly are now in the APC. He appealed to the people of Taraba to continue supporting the state government, describing the move as the most beneficial course for the state. A former speaker and current member representing Mbamga constituency, Peter Dia, welcomed the speaker and defecting members to the APC. He recalled that the speaker and others were fair to him and fellow APC lawmakers when they were in the minority, adding that he is pleased to see them embrace what he called the vision of President Bola Tinubu. Former Governor of Niger State, Muazu Babangida Aliyu, has said that the People's Democratic Party has removed the cancer that has been crippling the party. I beg your pardon. Aliyu was reacting to the expulsion of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and his allies from the PDP. Trust TV recalls that during its national convention held in Ibadan, Oyo State on Saturday, the PDP expelled Wike and suspended National Secretary Samuel Anyao and former Governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose. Reacting, Aliyu said, quote, "Like surgeons, we remove a cancer, the cancer that has been part of our party, that has crippled the party." He also warned against turning the country into a one-party state, saying the consequences would be devastating.
There was a time when PDP had up to 28 governors in this country, and nobody cried foul. But one can cry foul when you see your governors been taken away, either by bribe or by intimidation, and the constitution of country says you cannot go to another party with the mandate of another party. And yet, we are not following that rule. So we went and looked at what has been happening to our party. And like surgeons, we removed the cancer. The cancer that had been part of our party, that has crippled the party. We hope with that removal of the cancer, the party may be able to move and give Nigerians an option on what to do.
Senior legal practitioners in Nigeria are expressing mixed views on why conflicting orders from courts of coordinate jurisdiction keep happening in the country. Some point to weak systems, others blame corruption, poor sanctions and political pressure. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Conflicting orders from courts of equal standing seen recently in the Kano royal dispute and the PDP National Convention now appear frequent in Nigeria's judicial space. Senior lawyers say the trend grows because some lawyers shop for courts they think will favor their clients. They argue that this, combined with multiple institutional gaps, fits the problem.
Political matters constitute only about 3% of the workload of the judiciary, yet they constitute about 95% of where injury to the reputation of the judiciary comes from. Why is this? It is because the judiciary is seen as a whipping boy of the politicians. Politicians are divided into camps. Because they are divided into camps, they have the wherewithal, the resources to make a loud noise when things don't go in their favor.
The public will want to know if A is for Apple. All courts should be saying the same thing. But where this court says A is for Apple and another court says no, A is for Orange, it becomes a problem. It erodes the public confidence in the judiciary.
Parties in high-stakes cases often try several courts at once to get orders that stop or push actions they want. Legal experts say this weakens the system and damages public trust in the judiciary.
The proper thing is for judges to not to allow themselves to be used by politicians and litigants for their selfish ends. If a particular court has given judgment and the litigants are not satisfied with it, they should appeal. The Court of Appeal is there, and they're almost all over the country, everywhere. It doesn't take time to get to Court of Appeal to file an appeal and pursue it. But to say, I don't agree with you, you go to Court B to go and say the same thing, and then coerce that court to give judgment in your favor is very wrong.
We are not saying that there are not aberrations within the system, but it is exaggerated. We must learn to accept the result of the courts. No Nigerian is ever satisfied with the result. He will always admit that they took money to the judge. We are not saying there are no incidences of corruption.
They note that bodies like the National Judicial Council exists to check excesses, but a slow response to misconduct makes room for what they describe as judicial rascality and forum shopping. The lawyers call for better use of technology to track filings, monitor court activities, and enforce standards. They also stress the need to appoint people with strong character and proven integrity to the bench. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
On a sad note, no fewer than 7 persons have died and 11 injured in a fatal motor accident along Kiawa Azari Road in Jigawa State. An eyewitness said the accident involved a Toyota Hummer bus carrying 18 passengers from Kano to Potoskum, adding that many of the passengers died on the spot, while others sustained various injuries. Police spokesman SP Lawan Shisu Adam confirmed the incident in a statement issued to newsmen. According to Adam, upon receipt of the report, personnel of the Motor Traffic Division, led by Divisional Police Officer Kiawa Division, swiftly responded to the scene for rescue operations. He explained that 7 persons, including the driver, died on the spot, while 11 others sustained various degrees of injuries and were immediately rushed to General Hospital Dutse for medical attention. A spokesman added that 4 of the injured victims have since been treated and discharged, while the remaining are still receiving treatment. The Kano Zone of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, has expressed concern over what it described as the federal government's lack of genuine commitment to resolving lingering issues affecting Nigerian academics, warning that another round of strike action may be imminent. Recall that the union has threatened to embark on infinite strike after the expiration of the 1-month ultimatum elapses on 21st November 2025. Speaking at a press press conference in Kano on Monday, the zonal coordinator, Abdulkader Mohammed, said 1 month ultimatum issued to the government to meet the union's demands was about to lapse. He warned that failure of the government to act could lead to a total shutdown of universities. ASUU lamented the slow pace of renegotiations between ASUU and the government, lamenting that Nigerian lecturers are the least paid in Africa. This is News Update on Trust TV coming up after the break. Nigeria's inflation rate drops to 16.05% in October 2025. This and many more when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back from the break. In case you're just joining, this is News Update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. We told you that bandits abduct 25 schoolgirls, kill vice principal in deadly attack on Kebbi school. And Taraba Assembly Speaker, 15 others dump PDP for APC. Moving on to more stories, Nigeria's headline inflation rate eased to 16.05% relative to the September 2025 headline inflation rate of 18.02%, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has stated. In its October 2025 inflation report, the NBS said the inflation rate showed a decrease of 1.96% compared to the September 2025 headline inflation rate, adding that on a year-on-year basis, the headline inflation rate was 17.82%, lower than the rate recorded in October 2024, which was 33.88%. It added that on a month-on-month basis, the headline inflation rate in October 2025 was 0.93%, which was 0.21% higher than the rate recorded in September 2025, which was 0.72%. For food inflation, the rate was 13.12% on a year-on-year basis. It noted that the average annual rate of food inflation for the 12 months ending October 2025 over the previous 12-month average was 21.96%, which was 16.16 points lower compared with the average annual rate of change recorded in October 2024, which was 38.12%. A leading media development organization in Canada, Journalists for Human Rights, has pledged to partner Media Trust Group to train Nigerian journalists on specialized reporting as part of efforts to strengthen journalism practice in the country. Speaking during a courtesy visit to the corporate headquarters of the Media Trust Group on Monday, the Executive Director, Journalists for Human Rights, Bill Keylorn, said the initiative will support the Media Trust newsroom by training journalists on human rights reporting, coverage of climate change, and investigative journalism. The management of Media Trust Group has shown commitments to work with a Canadian-based organization to support local journalists on various areas of specialized reporting. A Deputy Editorial Director, Hamza Idris, who represented the group at the meeting, said the media conglomerate has evolved over the past 26 years.
We're actually in the fortunate situation that we can think about expanding the work we do, while other organizations are in the unfortunate situation of winding down their operations. We're ramping up. So our African leadership has long identified Nigeria as a country that they would like to work in. So we are here. We've been here for about a week. We're going to be here for another couple of days, but we're here to learn, to hear from leaders within the media industry, to learn about the challenges you face, the opportunities you see, and from there, we will go and start our lobbying efforts with the Canadian government to support media development in Nigeria.
If you come in, we stand to gain a lot from what you are doing. So on behalf of our GCO and the management at large, I want to assure you that Media Trust is actually amenable. We are open to partnering with you in achieving some of these things you mentioned. including strengthening the institution by having some of those policies. Of course, we have some of them, like, of course, we have something along women, because we also have women desk. We got funding from Kenya about 2 years ago, which we use in doing a lot of stories to bring out the plight of women and all that. We also have fact check desk, which we also, use in, mitigating the impact of disinformation, malinformation, and fake news, defect, and all that.
Now in business, Dangote refinery has explained that the recent drop in the pump price of premium motor spirit (PMS) by Nigerian petroleum product marketers nationwide is linked to itself. The company, in a statement on Monday, clarified that the fuel price reduction was not due to the recent suspension of the 15% import duty tariff by the federal government. The 650,000 barrel per day refinery stressed that the recent fuel price drop was due to its gantry price cut to 828 naira per litre from 877 naira. However, the spokesperson of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has linked the recent cut in petrol price to the easing of tension in the downstream sector due to the federal government's suspension of its 15% import duty. Recall that the federal government suspended its 15% import duty on petrol and diesel, which was intended to support Dangote refinery. Away from Nigeria, a bridge collapsed at a cobalt mine in southeast Democratic Republic of Congo, killing at least 32 wildcat miners, a regional government official said Sunday. The bridge came down Saturday onto a flooded zone at the mine in Lualaba province. Roy Kwamba Mayonde, the provincial interior minister, told reporters. He said 32 bodies had been recovered and more were being searched for. The DRC produces more than 70% of the world's supply of cobalt, which is essential for batteries used in electric cars, many laptop computers, and mobile phones. More than 200,000 people are estimated to be working in giant illegal cobalt mines in the giant Central African country. Local authorities said the bridge collapsed at the Kalando mine, about 42 kilometers southeast of the Lualaba provincial capital, Kolwezi. He said that miners rushing across the makeshift bridge built to get across a flooded trench made it collapse. And now in sports, Nigeria's football coach, Eric Chell, has accused the Democratic Republic of Congo of practicing voodoo after his squad's hope for qualifying for the 2026 World Cup ended in a penalty shootout loss. DR Congo and Nigeria drew 1-1 after extra time in the African playoffs final in Rabat on Sunday, and the Central Africans won 4-3 on penalties to book a place in Interconfederation playoffs in Mexico next March. In his post-match remarks to journalists, Eric Chell said a member of the DR Congo team, quote, did some voodoo every time. That is why I was a bit nervous, said former Mali international, who boasts 4 wins and 2 draws in competitive matches since taking charge of the Super Eagles. Chell had admitted before the match that it was going to be very difficult in Morocco. Using hand gestures, he said he saw a DR Congo member waving his hand as if sprinkling or shaking something. In a nervy shootout in which 4 sport kicks were saved and another missed, DR Congo captain defied a bottle thrown toward him and torrential rain to convert the winning penalty as his country sought a return to the global showpiece after a lengthy absence. President Bola Tinubu has commended the Super Eagles for what he described as their best efforts in the race to qualify for the FIFA World Cup, despite their defeat in Sunday's playoff match against the Democratic Republic of Congo. In a statement by Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, on Monday, Tinubu urged the national team to move past the disappointment and immediately begin preparations for the African Cup of Nations scheduled to be held in Morocco from December 2025 to January 2026. Nigeria failed to qualify for the World Cup for the second consecutive time after DR Congo edged the Eagles 4-3 on penalties in Morocco. President Tinubu said that although the outcome was painful for Nigerians, the team deserved commendation for pushing hard to reach the global tournament, especially after winning their first playoff match. He added that the setback should be a turning point for Nigerian football, calling on administrators, players and stakeholders to plug all the loopholes and return to the drawing board. And that's a wrap on news updates. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more programs, news and documentaries. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Thank you for watching.